The Man in the White Suit. Written and read by Ben Collins. All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. T. E. Lawrence. Chapter 1. Audition. Intermittent shafts of sunlight sliced across the damp carriageway through the canopy of trees. Leaves spattered away from the spinning wheels. I still had plenty of time, but this journey was worth enjoying, so I kept pulling gears and cranked the stereo. The suspension shuddered as I braked hard on the worn tarmac and rounded a long hairpin. The car was busy, but my mind, as usual, was elsewhere. Was this a good idea? Who was this guy I was meeting? Where the hell was this place? I glanced down at my complex route directions, then realised my turning was about to appear on a blind bend. I slowed to check for oncoming traffic before veering off down a track with no discernible markings. My left thumb clicked at the handbrake button as I toyed with the idea of a sharp about-face. I topped a gentle crest and the view widened. Just past a field of grazing sheep lay a security entrance, 3 feet and 2 inches to the right of the middle of nowhere. The security guard spilt his tea and leapt to his feet as I pulled up at the gate. He emerged from his cabin and approached my window. "Do you know where you're going?" "Yes," I lied. "Who are you here with?" That was a trickier one, but I dealt with it. "Oh, okay. Just follow the one-way system around." I drove into a vast expanse of clear skies, grass, concrete and airfield. The path ahead led to an old DC-3 passenger plane. I followed the broken concrete track to the right. An office building stood amongst a haphazard collection of large green metal warehouses. I dropped down a ramp into a staging area in front of a much larger hangar. At the far end of it, on the edge of the airfield, lay a very dilapidated cabin with "Production" daubed on its side. A Harrier jump jet was parked in the middle distance. It seemed I'd arrived at the studio. With a little time in hand, I walked the site. The airfield was as flat as a billiard table, with neat green fields surrounding the tarmac landing strips. I couldn't make out any kind of circuit in the sea of grey mist. A tired silver tree line separated the earth from the clear blue sky. The place must have had a real buzz in its glory days, first during the Second World War and then as a Harrier proving ground. On this still morning, I could almost hear the banter of aircrews scrambling to their aircraft. Now it felt like the land that time forgot. Rusted control panels littered the area. Cracked concrete billets jostled with disused hangars and pebble-dashed 70s monstrosities. I paid an obligatory pre-match visit to the nearby loos. 2 fresh pieces of graffiti read, "Fuck Jeremy Clarkson," and "Richard Hammond is a—" Sadly, Hammond's eulogy had never been completed. My laughter echoed down the deserted corridor, and I felt like a madman. I returned to the production hut and gave it the once-over. A cardboard cutout of a policeman stood guard at the window, beside a larger cutout still, of John Prescott, an ironing board, a moth-eaten mini-sofa, and a cluster of toxic coffee cups and Bic biros. What the hell did they do here? A worn chair overlooked a grubby telephone which sat, inert, on a filthy wood-veneered table. A printed list of key contacts was pinned to the wall, belying the cabin's absence of discernible function. Room 2 was marginally better appointed, with a small TV set surrounded by VHS tapes, but no player. A few photos of random celebrities decorated the flimsy, cobwebbed walls. Room 3 contained a large hanging rail from which hung a gold sequin jacket, a Flower Power shirt, and an enormous pair of jeans. A crate of Red Bull lurked in a corner. The place stank of fags, mildew, and eau de man. With an uncertain recollection of my last tetanus jab, I opted to wait inside my car and nod off to some filthy hard house tunes. I woke to the sound of rushing gravel as a small hatchback pulled up in front of me. I guessed this was my man by his silver hair and media-issue denim jacket. I climbed out to greet him. He hitched up his trousers and shuffled towards me like a glum but familiar uncle on a rare visit home. It was only 9:30, but his 5 o'clock shadow suggested he had already had a long day. He clasped a bursting folder of papers under one arm. He looked in every direction but mine. I moved to shake his hand. With some reluctance, he eventually reciprocated.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?